Hello everybody, this is Forecasting Nathan Kitchens here. Welcome back to Weather Team. First off, just wanted to apologize for the lack of updates here over the past couple weeks. Just to be clear here, I'm a full-time college student. I'm finishing up my meteorology degree, so unfortunately I'm not able to dive into the weather data every day, thoroughly and really get a forecast out because I really want to dive into the data, really get a really good look at the data and what the models are showing before I post these videos. It's hard to get these out every day, and of course, fortunately, I've only been able to get like one out a week. But I'm going to try to do better here over the next few days as we do have an approaching potential severe weather event early next week. We have a big storm system showing up that we expect to push through as we go into the early part of next week that we'll bear watching closely. So I'll be doing my best to keep things updated. Of course, our team is watching it and keeping you updated over the next few days. Let's start off by looking at the current radar image. It's a little after midnight. I'm sure this video probably will be posted like at 2 a.m. because these videos take forever to post, so I apologize for that. But looking at the current radar across the country, we do have some showers here. We're just clipping the parts of the Carolinas. This is the same storm that we were watching that could earlier, the models were hinting at that we could see another snowstorm for parts of the East Coast. But thankfully, the storm is just going to miss. And I mean just miss the East Coast. Barely, but it's going to miss it. Looks like parts of the Canadian Maritimes will get greater impacts with the storm. We do have about a weak front coming through the Great Lakes, sparking some snow showers. We do have a winter weather advisory here for part of the Appalachians here, from Pennsylvania down through West Virginia. For tonight, for some snowfall that will push through those higher elevation areas. Of course, you get to uplift those mountains. You actually get what we call orographic uplift. You get, because of the mountains there, the air rises and you get the formation of, you can enhance that snowfall. So that's why sometimes we see that kind of enhanced there in Appalachian regions, East Kentucky and West Virginia, East Ohio, Pennsylvania. See that many times during the winter, especially when you get a northwest flow like this. Looking at, we also have some lake effect snow here in parts of the Great Lakes here. That cold wind coming blowing over those relatively warm waters. Weak system here, clipper system type. Showing up here in North Dakota, a little disturbance there. A nice little system here in pushing through the Rockies. Heavy snow falling in parts of the higher elevations here, southeast Idaho. Winter storm warnings in place for this area. And also some precipitation pushing into California. It's going to be a very active day going throughout tomorrow and into parts of the weekend here for parts of the West, Pacific Northwest, and at least the northern half of California. And then going into Sunday, we're going to be watching really even the southern part of California getting on that moisture. We do have winter storm warnings here across parts of the Sierra Nevada, and I'll show you that here on the National Weather Service homepage. The pink represents winter storm warnings. This blue shading, winter storm watches here in parts of Utah and Colorado. And there's that winter storm warning again in parts of southeast Idaho and western Wyoming. The winter weather advisories here in that purple across parts of Washington and Oregon. One county here it looks like in a winter storm warning. Then there's that winter weather advisory for parts of the Appalachians here for tonight and in the early parts of tomorrow. Okay, let's talk about that storm for early next week. It's going to be a whopper of a storm. And I have the wrong image up here. Apologize for that. Let's go back to tomorrow. And we'll move forward from tomorrow. Okay? Here we go. For 12Z tomorrow, this will be 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, Eastern Time. For the GFS here. There's that storm just off the coast here in the Atlantic. Just a bare miss for the East Coast, but it's going to miss the East Coast. A little bit of snowfall pushing through parts of the Appalachians, like I just mentioned. And you see we have that precipitation starting to really come in here along the West Coast. Active day tomorrow across the Pacific Northwest and across the northern half of California. LA down through San Diego, you'll be fine tomorrow. But going into Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be watching a nice warm-up here in parts of the east, central and east part of the U.S., a very nice warm-up in response to a developing storm trough here across the west, digging trough here across the west. And going into Sunday, we're going to have a system scoot across the central part of the country, see some rain, a little bit of snowfall here as well for Sunday. So keep that in mind going through the weekend and on Sunday, the storm system pushing through. Perhaps some decent snow parts of Wisconsin and Michigan, upper parts of Michigan, if the GFS is correct. I'll show the Canadian for that same time frame. And, it's not, the Canadian's a lot less aggressive. So I'm willing to bet perhaps the GFS is a little biased there on what it's showing. I don't have the European up right now, so I'm not sure what it's showing, but I will say I'm not sure if the GFS may be too robust with that snow. But really what we're watching is this second storm for early next week. As we go throughout Sunday and into Monday, we're going to be watching that moisture coming in. It's going to be see a strengthening storm here in the Four Corners region by 7 a.m. Monday morning. There's our storm. Going into Monday afternoon and Monday night, it's approaching the panhandle of Texas, the panhandle hooker as we call them, dipping down into the panhandle and then shooting off through the plains and into the Great Lakes, going throughout Tuesday. So here we are by Tuesday. Actually, this is 00Z Tuesday. That's actually 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, Monday evening. And you can see a developing storm here across the plains here, southern plains, low pressure here in Panhandle of Texas, heavy snow breaking out here. And going into Monday night and Tuesday, here we go. By the middle of night, by 1 a.m., this would be midnight for the central time zones. Potent area of low pressure here in Oklahoma, heavy snow across Kansas and Nebraska. Going forward towards Tuesday morning, that heavy snow from Kansas to parts of Nebraska and pushing into Iowa. And this is going to be a whopper of a snowstorm here for parts of Kansas, up in Iowa, up into parts of maybe southeast Minnesota, and definitely Wisconsin. Much of Wisconsin looks to get hit with heavy snow based on what I'm seeing right now. And then parts of central, especially northern Michigan, the UP of Michigan looks pretty good right now for a whopper of a snowfall. And one thing we also have to watch, I keep talking about the snow because I'm a big snow lover. I tend to do that, but we got to watch for the potential for severe storms with this storm as well. We're going to have a huge amount of moisture and warmth spreading in on the warm sector of the storm flow coming straight out of the Gulf of Mexico. So starting Monday night, as the storm system begins to gather shape here, I will be watching areas like Arkansas and Louisiana, and maybe even east part of Texas here. But going into Tuesday, that's the day we really have to watch for a much larger area and for a much greater risk for severe storms from parts of Mississippi and Alabama and Tennessee and even up into the Ohio Valley. We do have that risk for severe storms on Tuesday. Plenty of upper level support here at the surface. We're going to have plenty of warm temperatures, plenty of moisture, very high amounts of moisture is what we're seeing, and a decent amount of instability. So we do have definitely the setup there for severe storms. Now I'm looking at the dynamics of this setup here. I would say parts of the Ohio Valley here, I would say damaging winds is probably the bigger threat right now. But as you go towards maybe even southern Kentucky and especially Tennessee, Alabama, and Mississippi, that's where we have to watch for more of the tornadic and damaging wind threats. So those areas from Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi really look to be the greatest chance right now for more pronounced severe weather. As we go throughout our Tuesday, you got to watch that very closely. Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening will be the main time frame for those areas. And then the storm system pushes off to the east by the time we get into Wednesday. Much colder air filtering in behind the storm. So I'll go back here by 18Z Tuesday. You can see the front here across parts of Arkansas and Louisiana, and moisture streaming in. We got some storms will be pushing through this very warm and moist air mass. And again, the risk for severe storms, including damaging winds and tornadoes, will be the threat from parts of the Ohio Valley down into the south. And I'll show you the National Weather Service. Well, actually, the Storm Prediction Center, what they're highlighting for now in their 4 to 8 day outlook that they issue here. Here's their day 5 outlook, and it does highlight for Monday night parts of Louisiana, parts of Arkansas, and maybe a sliver of eastern Texas as well. As that storm system begins to develop, just a chance for severe weather here Monday night. Going into Tuesday, that's the day I think the risk will be greater in a larger area spatially involved in that risk for severe storms. For parts of the Ohio Valley here, we've even got southern Indiana and southern Ohio involved. Really almost the entire state of Kentucky, almost the entire state of Tennessee, a good chunk of Alabama, and basically all of Mississippi in that risk as we go throughout our Tuesday. We have to watch this very closely. Definitely the risk is there for a pretty eventful day. I'm not saying this is going to be, quote-unquote major outbreak. This is nothing. I mean, we see these setups every year, basically. I mean, pretty much every single year. we have setups like this. This is nothing out of the ordinary, nothing crazy or unusual. This happens every year. Just need to be prepared. No reason to be scared. Just be aware of it and just keep an eye on the forecast going forward over the next few days, because obviously things can, we still see some differences in each model runs as far as the risk for severe storms, but nonetheless, very good agreement here that we're going to see some severe weather early next week across parts of the, especially the Tennessee Valley, down here across the south, looking pretty good for some severe storms during today, Tuesday. Once we get behind that system, we will have the return of much colder air. It looks like, looking at our map here for Wednesday and then Thursday, that storm pulls out. We're going to have a deep trough digging in here across the central United States, throwing in the upper level dynamics, the 500 millibar height anomalies. While you see a nice trough showing up here, going throughout the middle and latter part of next week once we get behind that storm. So that will mean some much colder air returning. So definitely a forecast we want to watch over the next several days with that risk for a heavy snowstorm. Okay, and just for fun, I'm not going to be thrown in for hyping this up somehow, but this is the GFS, actually notice this Canadian snowfall map. I'm going to go to the GFS here, snowfall map for early next week, and it is showing a heavy swath of snow. I'm going to show you the new run. It just came in. I think it's in yet. Yeah, it's in. And it shows a heavy swath of snow from Kansas through southeast Nebraska, through almost really a good chunk of Iowa, through almost the entire state of Wisconsin. Just game on for a huge snowstorm. And central and especially northern and northwest half of Michigan could be under the gun for a real big snow event. And I mean, we could be talking about a foot or more in some areas. So this is going to be a big storm. Heavy snow on one side and severe storms on the other side. So a storm to watch closely here over the coming days as we continue to fine-tune the forecast. So I'll be posting updates as much as I can over the next few days. Just be sure to stay tuned to the forecast as we draw closer. Thanks for checking out this latest video forecast. Have a good night.